Welcome home. I'm Tamyra Alicia, your host, and this is Soul Drops, a podcast dedicated to the expansion of the heart, mind, and soul, a safe place for reflection, healing, and self-understanding. Take a deep breath with me, and let's begin. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Soul Drops. I am your host, Tamyra Alicia, and today we are discussing the viral aesthetic or trend, I guess, called soft girl era. I was recently in the car and I was listening to the radio and this song came on, Soft Girl Era by Ari Lennox, and I love this song. And it made me think about just how much women really need to feel like it's okay to step into this era of their lives. And it's really the era of returning to the divine feminine. And I actually think that it's more than just a trend, because we have definitely seen many trends come and go on social media. But this one, I think, is very different. I think what it is doing is it's allowing women to step into this place of really flirting with their divine feminine energy, really flirting with their softness and their want or need for protection or for security. And I'm not talking about financially, because we all know that we can provide for ourselves. But it's one thing to know that you can provide for yourself, whether that be monetarily, emotionally, whatever the case is, and also taking delight in someone else being there for you as this security, or just being present within your own femininity, within your own emotions, and feeling strong and empowered by that. It's a very beautiful feeling. And I wanted to talk more about that. So first, let's talk about what divine feminine energy even is, right? So divine feminine energy is not just about gender per se. It's an energy, because women and men both have divine feminine and divine masculine energy in them. Now, granted, do we kind of go between both in terms of sometimes you have to step into your divine masculine energy as a woman, and sometimes you have to step into your divine feminine energy as a woman, right? So we kind of go in between the two as needed, because life requires balance. That's true in nature and is true within us all. And even with men have to step into their divine feminine energy at times, and they also have to be able to navigate within their divine masculine energy. It's not just all or one. You're not going to be completely divine masculine, or you're not going to be completely divine feminine. There is a complete, but particularly with divine feminine energy, I would say that it's more intuitive, it's creative, it's receptive, it's very deep feeling, it's fiercely protective, it's wise, and quite honestly unafraid to go to dark places within themselves. And even if we think about it from a historical lens, divine feminine energy, or feminine energy in general, has always been symbolized and expressed through Mother Nature, through the earth, through the moon, through water, through life itself. And it has always been seen as kind of this fertility of everything. And I believe that over the years, over the centuries actually, it has kind of morphed. And it has morphed into this thing where women have been told that they needed to be silent, and they have been told that their softness is a weakness. But what if softness is the most radical strength of all? Just follow me. So I think in order to get more into the context of this, we need to think about how women were strategically disconnected from their power over time throughout history. So think about colonization, religion, patriarchy. Female wisdom was basically cast out. Women went from being oracles and priestess and village healers and leaders and warriors to becoming property and to becoming invisible laborers. Think about witch trials were based on condemning women that leaned into their intuition, that leaned into their natural ability to be able to heal, that leaned into everything, all of the most powerful aspects of the divine feminine. Think about forced modesty and sexual shame. And even today in our time, it would be the hustle culture, right? And that hustle culture in general, I have a lot of things to say about that. And I'm not even going to go into all that, but I'm not a fan. And I think that the hustle culture is toxic for everybody, whether you're a male or female. I can understand that we all have goals, all have dreams and ambitions, but please do not neglect yourself to get something that you cannot take with you, because you can bust your butt and neglect yourself and neglect your health to get the bag. And then once you got the bag, but your ass is in that hospital bed, that money is not going to do anything for you. So please take care of yourself and don't put things like money before your health, before your sanity, anything like that. But I think that throughout the years, as women were being disconnected from this power that we had, we have to learn how to survive. And a big part of how women learn to survive was by mimicking the masculine model of power. And that is what happens when you are put into a system where what you have to contribute is deemed as invaluable simply because you were born a female. A lot of times, women have also silently disempowered from little things like our intuition. I can't think of how many times I've been told a feeling that I had about something that always turned out to be right was irrational, or that, oh, you're too emotional. Oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, you think that you need to rest after this? Oh, that's just laziness. And so a lot of women have learned to put on this armor. And we call this armor ambition, or we call this armor strength, but not strength. And I can say this from my own personal experience, and particularly from my culture as a Black woman. Black women throughout history have been forced into roles that there was self-care. There was no room for just really diving into your own femininity and kind of like romanticizing your life. Because historically we didn't have time for that. Those types of things were luxuries that we did not have time for. And so now when I see so particularly Black women diving into that aspect of themselves, it just makes me so happy and so proud. And I was having a conversation recently with a friend, and we were discussing if the compliment, or when someone says to you, "Oh, you're such a strong Black woman," do you take that as a compliment or do you not take that as a compliment? Me personally, I understand it. I understand why I don't want to be strong. I want to be able to lean into my femininity and then lean into my divine masculine when I have to, but I don't want to have to live in my masculine energy because I'm not a man. And being able to live in my divine feminine energy means that I get to live in my softness. I get to live and romanticize in that energy, and it feels beautiful and it feels amazing and it feels creative and healing and intuitive. And when I have to be strong. For me, there's two different types of strengths. Women are strong. Like, we can take on a lot. Emotionally, we can handle a lot. Physically, we can handle a lot. But there is a different types of a strength than the strength of, oh, I have to go out here and do this and I have to be this to everybody. There is a difference between those types of strengths. And when I hear someone say, you're such a strong Black woman, I'm kind of like cringy, because I'm just like, if you actually knew that I didn't want to be strong, it's just something that I have to be, right? I put it on like a suit, like a piece of armor. I put it on when I have to be, but it's not something that I actually want to be. And I think that's a distinction that needs to be made. And I know that it's not just Black women that feel that way, but being that I'm a Black woman, I can only speak for me and my experience. And I would never speak on someone else's experiences that isn't mine. And so I think that a lot of times when we get in this place where we are really living from our masculine energy and it's unbalanced, like we're never dipping into our feminine energy, we feel as though that power has left us. And this is like, we have to be hardened and this is how we have to be. But that's not how it works. That energy is still radiating and living inside of you. And it's just waiting on you to call that power back because it's still there. Now, speaking of leadership, women have always been leaders through matriarchal societies, through spiritual leaders, queens, community builders, a lot of times working behind the scenes. Think about civil rights, for example. We see all of the men, right? There were a lot of women as well, but we see all of the men at the forefront when we think about the most talked about, the most prolific leaders of the civil rights movement. A lot of people, the first thing that comes to mind are people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. But their wives, man, their wives were phenomenal, phenomenal. And yet they weren't, I don't think that they were given their flowers 100%, right? And I think that leadership didn't always have to look like women being at the forefront either. It could be holding space. It could be birthing generations. It could be protecting the culture. I think these are all the things that women did while working in the backgrounds that were kind of overshadowed. And divine feminine energy is a type of leadership that is different from the masculine. It's more of a guiding. It never dominates. It's definitely more of a guiding type of energy, and it creates more than it conquers. That's not to say that it doesn't conquer sometimes, because it does, but in a very different aspect. Even when our names weren't written in history books, our hands helped to shape the world. Women are magnificent. We have always been architects of life, and we will continue to be. And us stepping back in and remembering our power and not allowing it to be subdued or taken away from us is something that I hope that I continue to see. Now, the rise of modern feminine power and its misunderstandings, I think, bring a lot of conflict, because I see a lot of women on YouTube, especially. I'll see a lot of women saying, oh, well, women shouldn't vote, or women shouldn't have opinions, or women should just stay home and be pregnant. And then I hear a lot of young women saying, like, I don't want kids, or I don't believe that women should have to do this or should have to be silent, or that women can't have both the career and the husband and the baby, or, whatever situation you want. And I think that that is the divinity of the divine feminine, right? Like there's no set way that we have to be. It's about embracing what that means for you. And many modern women, I feel, have reclaimed this leadership in different ways, some through a very patriarchal lens. So, like I said before, that hustle culture, the competition, the disconnection from the self, the disconnection from the body, the disconnection from the feminine energy, and really living through the place of the masculine energy. And I get it. I get it. We live in a very masculine dominated world. And so there are times where we really have to lean into that energy, even when we think about the boss girl era, and trying to prove that we can hang with the boys. Even though some people say that's not what it was about, I definitely think that's what it was about. Proving that we don't need them, proving that we can do it too, proving that we can get the bag. And not saying that we can't, because we can, but why do we have to prove anything? And I feel like a lot of it left us exhausted and burnt out and emotionally starving. And so the soft girl era emerges, in my opinion, as this response. It's not regression. We're not going back. We're not saying that we're not powerful. We're not saying that we can't get the bag if we need to get the bag. But it's kind of this alternative route. So it's like, okay, you want to be a boss babe? That's cool. That is your version of your divine feminine energy. However you want to do that. But there's also this way that we can take that is more balanced. That means that, yes, I can go out here and I can get the bag, but also when I come home, I want to be pampered. I want to be taken care of. I want to be looked after. I could be the person and a lot of times people look at it as a money thing, right? So, if the girl is in the relationship is the breadwinner, then she's the more masculine one. Not necessarily. Or if the girl is the taller person in the relationship, then she's the more masculine one. Not necessarily, right? It's really about a special experience with yourself and how you feel about yourself and how you want to express and live in that feminine energy, and not worry about what the outside world thinks. And that could even mean journaling. That could mean taking long highs of life and just being really, that could mean in tune and intentional with yourself. That could mean diving into all of the things that make it fun to be a girl. And I don't think that we're going to move away from that. I really think that we are circling inward and returning to that energy. And again, this isn't about choosing softness over strength, because both can reside in one place. It's about refusing it to be divided in the first place. Like, why do we have to choose? Like, why can't we have both? And I think that Beyonce is a great example of a woman that I think has balanced success and also what it means to be in your divine feminine energy. She has 3 babies, and now 2 of them are on stage with her. And so it's a beautiful thing to see that she is a mother and she is motherly even with her fans. She has a very motherly energy with her about her fans that I like. And she's also a boss. And again, bringing it back to this conversation about balance and nature. Nature is both the storm and the calm. It is both creation and destruction. The divine feminine is cyclical. It's fluid, it's expansive, it's not linear at all. It's embracing all that needs to be embraced and not just the parts that are palatable. One great example of this is childbirth. As a mom of 2, And as someone who has had natural childbirth, it is a grueling, bloody experience, but it is also happiness, and it is relief and excitement and an array of emotions that you have to go through to bring this little human into the world. But the process within itself is it's not palatable. There are things that happen that I won't get into, but just know that there are things that are not beautiful about that process. Not very palatable at all, but we still do it. It is a testimony to the raw power that women have. Even if you don't have kids or can't have kids, it is the capacity of strength that women have inside of us that is just freaking mind-blowing. The way that we can hold space for multiple people is, I love it. I love being a woman. I love the nurturing of other women. And it actually, as I'm saying this, it makes me think of two people that I absolutely adore, Maria and Anna, and they are just the most loving, strong, compassionate, just amazing examples of women that I know. And I'm so proud and so happy that they are a part of my life and that I get to experience their beautiful divine feminine energy. But women, we are the ocean. We are sometimes the waves. We are sometimes the calm water. And sometimes we are even the tsunami. But we have to realize and embrace that power in us. We have to embrace both. We have to embrace the softness and we have to embrace the strength, because they're both powerful and relevant and needed, especially in this world right now. They are needed. If you are feeling the call to slow down, to soften, to cry more, to dance more in your room, in your bathroom, in your closet, whatever it is, to nourish yourself without apology, like thinking that you need a reason to do something nice for yourself, or thinking that you need a reason to take an hour and 45-minute bath. Dive into that beautiful feminine energy and just remember that essence. The soft girl era isn't just about the optics that we see on social media. It's really about a place of return, a place of returning home to yourself, to your deepest divine feminine energy within you, and realizing that that is a safe space. And also that if anyone in your life makes you feel as though that is not a safe space, then maybe it's time to reevaluate that relationship, because you should always feel safe in that space. I would love to connect with you all. Please feel free to follow me on all my social medias, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, at Soul Drops Podcast, same name on everything. You can also connect with me through my website at www.souldropspodcast.com. I am looking forward to engaging with you. I don't want to just talk at you. I want to talk to you. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Soul Drop, and I will catch you on the next one.